So this is the swatching video for the things that I picked up in New York City on my most recent trip. And it was a really fabulous trip, even though it rained almost constantly. It didn't matter because I was going to art supply stores and I could just wander and wander the aisles. Now the first stop was Kremer, which is a German pigment manufacturer, and they also make their own watercolor from their pigments. So I put together this little palette here, and this one just didn't fit. I wasn't really thinking, I was just sort of like, what do they have? You know, there were a lot of things that were out of stock. There was a lot of things that were quite expensive pigments. I got pigments while I was there, but I only got 2 bags of them. They will be made into watercolors, which will be up on my website. For now, you can check my website down in the description, and I have my handmade watercolors there. And I'll also have, under color charts, I'll have this scanned and up there, as well as all the rest of the haul. So let's go. Let's start with the Bismuth Vanadate Yellow. So I started using these paints right away while I was there. I didn't get a lot of chance to sketch outdoors as much as I wanted to, but it was enough. And there's sometimes that I did really quick line work, either in pencil or ink, and then when I got back to the hotel at night, I colored it in. So this is the Ultramarine Very Dark. And then my favorite is, of all of them, I think, is the Cobalt Bottle Green. There are a lot of places in my neighborhood that have that almost exact green. And then I have cat hair on my brushes. Then the Vagone Green Earth. Green earths are sometimes, or terre verte, are sometimes difficult to get going, but this one is really, really nice from the first go. Then there's Russian Green Earth. Just a little bit more transparent, a little bit more neutral, muted. This has a little bit of green in it. And this paper is from a subscription box. It has a little bit of an odd texture to it. But I wanted one that was A5 size because I have a binder full of all the swatches that I do, so that I know not to buy things twice over, although I still do that. And that's the Victoria Green. I loved this because it was really good color for, there was a lot of that green in New York, and it's a good green for like verdigris of copper. And this is the maroon. It can go very dark. Let's pull that down a little bit. And I think maybe my next favorite is this ultramarine green. Just because I love teal colors. I don't use it that much in my paintings, but I always love having it around. At my old house, we had, our front door was that color. Ah, more cat hair. And then the grays. They have warm gray 6. Oh, shoot. Contaminated that. They have a whole palette full of grays, but they're so similar that I thought I was thinking of buying it, but I kind of wanted to add different colors too that I wouldn't get elsewhere. And that was the whole thing about this. These are colors that I don't have. This one's a little bit more transparent, a little bit harder to pick up, but it's a nice color, especially when you're working urban sketching. And the cool gray, it's very cool indeed. And then cool gray number 5. And a lot of people wouldn't get black, but I like really different blacks that granulate oddly, and you can use them as mixes for urban sketching. And this is an intense black, like really intense. Just do that. And then Red Bull, I thought would be a really good sort of brick color. And this sort of intrigued me, this Iron Glimmer Violet. Very pigmented, as you can see, and it dries kind of matte too. Don't let the glimmer part make you think otherwise. And then the Incarnate, I just kind of like this as a base for flesh tones. You can darken it down, make it a lot more realistic. I've been adding these two together for darker skin tones and a little bit of the Red Bull. And then this one was the Thulit. Is a little bit disappointing. It takes a lot of work to get it even semi-recognizable as a color. I'll just hold that up there. You can see the color on it, but it just, I don't know, there's a sort of sandy texture to it, as if maybe it wasn't mixed properly. And then I went for a fluorescent. I really wanted fluorescent pink, but they were out of stock. Just thought it would be kind of neat for urban sketching. And there we go. That is the Kremer haul. I got the little palette for it. It had the usual thing that sits in here, the metal thing to hold the half pans in, but then you can't fit as many. So I took it all apart, I put them in, And then when I got home, I was able to put magnets on it because it has a really nice, mostly flat base, unlike some. So it works nicely here. I had all sorts of, I had to, I rolled up a napkin from a food place in here to keep everything from moving about when I didn't have them with magnets, and that worked a treat. And there we go. So that's Cremor. This is just a blue Sharpie that I bought for another reason, but also to label all of these because they came in little tiny bags with their information on them, and they didn't have the information about the pigments used, so I'll have to look that up and write them down. So put that one aside, and then let's try out some of these other ones. I also went into Blix, and again on the hunt for things that I wouldn't be able to get at home, because I'll say again, while our dollar is at a low rate, I also find that some things are even more expensive dollar to dollar wise. So say something is, say a coffee is $4. Here it's also $4 American, but $4 American is more money than $4 Canadian. So I was finding that quite a lot, and sometimes even more than the Canadian price. So I had to make sure I was calculating in my head constantly. But and I didn't buy anything that I could get here. I think you can get some of the fine tech here, but not all of them. I just saw these swatched out, and I thought the blue gray or blue silver would be really great for New York. And I did do my first sketch was this food truck, a street food vendor, and I was able to give it a little bit of a sense of the metallic. So let's keep on with the watercolor theme. And then the next one is orange, or Tangelo. These are made in Germany. I don't usually go in for metallics, but I thought these were quite nice for adding to my urban sketching. So those are the fine techs. Put them right there. And so back to Blix, I got, Blix makes their own soft pastel. So I picked up a few, and they are made in England. This one is the red gray. Then we have red gray number 3. And then, do we have another? No. This one is autumn brown number 2. And these were just colors that attracted me. I thought they're rather nice. This is raw umber 1. I thought they looked nice together. They're mostly pretty muted. Then we have Raw Umber 2. And they got a little bit crumbly in transit. This is Green Gray 1. And that's just a really nice. And then I went for that turquoise again, teal. Kind of works with that. And then you can add a bit of water to them. And there we go. Those are the soft pastels from Blix. And then something a little bit different. I got these stamps at the Japanese bookstore. I don't know how well they'll show up here, or how dried out my ink pad is, but that's pretty good. A little brush and a little tube of paint. Aren't those cute? And then I did get, just to show you, I did pick up this Marabou white crayon. It's also water soluble and you can put it on almost any surface. I just thought that would add something to my my pen case that I had with me with all my tools and different media. And so you can, it will dissolve in water. But then I realized I actually had one at home. So anyways, this one can go into my little bag of tricks and the other one can stay in the studio. So that's about it when it comes to things that I bought. These, if you saw my earlier video, that's the little pen that I got, and that's the really tiny pencil that I got. I'm gonna have to figure out how to put lead in it. I'm sure it's through there, and I hope it's just regular size lead, maybe a little bit on the smaller side. But that is it. So I can't wait to go back. Like I said, I will be putting these up on my website under color charts. I do have handmade watercolor up on my website that you can buy, and I'll be adding to that with the 2 pigments, powdered pigments that I got while I was there. So that's the trip to New York City and the swatch out from it. All right, thanks so much. You can see what I've drawn from my trip on my Instagram page at Eileen Riley Arts, and you can check out things that inspired me that I've made little paintings of. They're also on my website, and you can also purchase those. I almost forgot that there are these Stabilo aquarellable pencils in green and brown that I forgot to sketch swatch. So they really dissolve nicely. You don't have to do that if you want some of the texture of the pencil. But that is those. And then let's grab a creamer color. Maybe this Iron Glimmer Violet to show you the brush that I got, the Princeton Neptune quill brush. Really nice size. It fits really well in my pencil case. Just take that off. I'm keeping that. I don't normally put brushes back into the plastic because you can bend back a hair when you're doing that, but as long as it's formed nicely when it's wet and put back in, you're fine. And then I don't have to worry about it getting crushed in my pen case, pencil case, pen case. Just soften that up a bit. Really, really nice brush. It'll be great for doing washes, working a little larger. Obviously I can use it in the studio. It holds a ton of paint. And someone put me on when I asked in the stores about getting a large quill with a short handle so that I could take it in my pen case. They recommended maybe using a flat wash brush, and I also saw this one, this cute little number. It's a 1 inch and I couldn't resist. It's a Mottler brush and it's quite nice. Let's do the blue. A little bit more. And it's nice for doing washes as well. So that also goes into my pen case for urban sketching. It's a nice small size. And then this one goes with it too. And like I said, you just like dab out a little bit of the excess of the water, shape it, and then put it back into, see, I'm already bent a hair, but that's okay. The other thing you can do to get the hairs back is to put them in boiling water. And that just slips on there. Now that is it of the things that I bought on my travels. And thank you for watching.